Hi, I'm Elise with Innovative Speech Services, and welcome to the SLP Caseload Dynamo video tutorial series. Today's video is the most exciting of the series because we are discussing how to use everything you've done in the first 3 videos to finally start lesson planning and collecting and analyzing student data. Prior to this step, please make sure you have completed the steps described in the Dashboard tab, Goal tab, and Options tab instructional videos by using the linked instructional videos below. I think the best way to demonstrate the utility of the Daily tab is to first show you what a completed day of data collection looks like and then walk through how to input the information for a new day. So in brief overview of the day of data that's already been collected, we have our students' names in the order that they were treated for the day, but you can enter them in any order you want. We have the date, the service, the start and stop time of that service, the total minutes served as calculated by the start and stop times, the goal that we targeted, the specific target related to the goal that we worked on and/or collected data for, our tallies if we collected data, the automated accuracy calculations for those tallies, and any anecdotal data. And to get a closer look at any of these cells that are cut off, you can just click on them and it'll show up here if you're having a hard time reading the cell down here. Then over to the left, there are M's and A's that will appear as you go to indicate whether you need to log a special Medicaid or attendance log for the student via your district's guidelines. Once you've completed those, you can check them off, as you see I have done here. And your to-do list in the top left corner will update accordingly. You can see because I've checked off all the M's and A's that appeared. It says, congratulations, you're all caught up in Medicaid, and congratulations, you're all caught up in attendance. And then another feature that will automatically update is the running sum of general education minutes that you've provided throughout the year, which you can just ignore if your district doesn't require you to keep track of this. And that 10,800 number can be edited in the Options tab if your district has a different maximum. And finally, you'll notice that the row associated with each student is color-coded by grades. For this to work, you must have each student's grade logged in the Dashboard tab, and you must have the grade column filled out in the Options tab. And you also must have the box in the top right here checked, indicating that you want to use this feature. I really like having it do this because it helps me visually break up the mass of text that shows my data collection for the day. All right, and then the other feature that you can turn off is the Medicaid or attendance to-do list, which is right here. If you have this unchecked, then all the M's and A's will go away and this will just turn blank. And turning these features off if they are unnecessary for your workflow can help the document work faster. But I like to have them both on because they really help me better think through my day and what I have to do. So now that you've seen what a completed day of data collection looks like, we're going to walk through the steps of setting up your treatment plan for the day and entering the student information and data all on the Daily tab. To begin, set up your first data collection day by ensuring that you have the correct quarter and date headquarters. Since we're still in first quarter, I'm going to leave this up here, but say you wanted to start data collection for second quarter, you could do that by clicking on 42, which is the row first quarter is in, and then right-clicking it and copying, and then going down to your next blank row, right-clicking and pasting, and then that will automatically appear down there, and you might type it in as second quarter. And you can see when I do that, it turns maroon. If it has the word quarter in it, it should turn maroon. And then the next thing that you'll do is pick your new date. And so I'm actually gonna undo what I just did by hitting Command Z because I don't want that quarter to be there. We're still in first quarter and still in the same week of data collection. But what I am going to do is copy Wednesday, August 9th, and again, paste that here. And then what I'm going to do to start setting up my new date is double click this bar and choose the new day. So that would make today Thursday, August 10th. And something that I like to do to help reduce the amount of information I'm looking at is highlight all of the rows within a certain day, which you can do by clicking the lowest row in the data set and then the highest row in the data set that's not the header. So they're all selected. So I hit Shift, and then I clicked the top. And then I'm going to right click and say View More Row Actions, Group Rows 44 through 63. That will automatically group all of these rows under Wednesday, August 9th. And I can hit that minus button to hide those so that I'm not overwhelmed by the amount of information I'm looking at. So now I'm ready to log my treatment plans for Thursday, August 10th. And the way that we're going to do that is by first selecting the names of the students that you would like to log services for from the student drop-down list right here. And you can set up your entire day at once by making a list of all the students you will see and then entering in their information. You could log one student at a time and then add in more as your day goes on or anywhere in between. It just depends on whatever workflow is best for you. If I get in early, I like to put in all of my students for the day so that I can just be ready to go. But there are also days where I am not in early and I'm just putting in students and my treatment plans for them right before I see them or as I see them. It just depends on what best fits your workflow. As a reminder, student names only auto-populate in the drop-down list here if they have been entered on the dashboard tab. So to complete this step, please make sure you've followed the steps in the dashboard tab instructional video so that all of your students can appear right here. Now, one thing I love about working in the Google Suite is that you have access to the Google Calendar sidebar over here, which I'm going to click to open and go to Thursday, August 10th. I love doing this when I'm making my treatment plans for the day. Google Calendar is an excellent tool for scheduling, and I know there's some SLPs out there who have videos on how they use Google Calendar for scheduling. It is really a fabulous, fabulous tool. So I'll pull up my sidebar that shows the day and all of the students who I already have scheduled for that day, and then I'll just go through and start putting all of their names in. And you'll notice I've color-coded my Google Calendar events so that they match the color coding that is within the document. All right. I have GEI 3 through 5 here, so I'm going to check my dashboard tab to see if I have any students who are receiving general education interventions and like an informal treatment group. It doesn't look like I have anybody within that range who's just on GEI, but I do have a 4th grader who is receiving an initial evaluation right now, or who is in the process of being evaluated right now. And so maybe I'm providing some of those services to her, so I'll put her in here. If you're overwhelmed by the length of the list when you're looking for a specific student, you can also type in their name or start typing in their name and it will appear. So next what we're going to do is enter the date next to each student name in the name column. And so today is August 10th. And so I'm just going to copy and paste this all the way down. And I'm doing that by hitting Command C to copy and Command V to paste. And then what I'm going to do is make my plan for the goal and target that I want to work on for each student. So this is another really cool feature of the document. Once you've input the student's name over here, this dropdown will automatically populate with all of their goals that you have entered in on the Goals tab. And again, that was in a previous instruction video, so make sure that you followed that and have all of your goals input in there associated with each student's name. All right, so then we'll go through, and so maybe for Andre today, we want to work on his speech goal and his language goal. If you want to target more than one goal per student, that is totally supported by this document. All you have to do is go over to the row they're in if they're not at the bottom. If you already have entered other students below them, you can click the row they're in and then say insert, and right click that is, insert one row below. And then make sure that their name is over here, but you only need to enter in the date, service, and start and stop time once. Just make sure their name is over here so that this data will be associated with them. And then we can select the next goal we want to work on. Or maybe you want to do the same thing with multiple targets for just one goal. We can do that as well. So we're going to insert another row again, add in his name, and then type in speech 1. And so maybe for this first goal, which is working on CVC words, the initial and final consonants in CVC words for him, maybe we're working on initial P CVC words imitated and final P CVC words imitated, and we want to take data on both of those. And then maybe we're also calculating the amount of multi-word utterances that he produces during a session. Okay, and so that's how you input all of the goal information. I'm going to go through and do that for each student now. So now that I have my student, the date, and their related goal and targets that I hope to work on during each session, in here I have all my treatment planning done. It's time to start going through our day and meeting with students and logging data. Next, what I'm going to do is pretend that we're meeting with our first group of the day, which is my itinerant preschool group, including Andre and Lily. And so we'll say that they're both here for the day. I'm going to go ahead and put in D2, which is direct services, pull out for a group of 2. But if you don't want to specify the group size, you can always just say direct services pull out. I like to specify the group size because for me it makes Medicaid billing easier, as that's something that we have to note in our Medicaid billing. And so I'll do that, and then I'll say the start and stop time. Maybe it was a really rainy morning and both parents were running late when they dropped their students off for speech. So we were supposed to start at 8:30, but we only started at 8:35 instead. And then make sure when you're entering in the start and stop times that you include AM or PM. That helps this total minutes calculator function properly. If you don't include AM or PM, maybe you just say 9. You can see that it gets confused. It needs to be entered in there as a time. And I'm going to copy and paste this for Lily since she has the same service minutes. All right, and so now that I have our start and stop times logged and all of that, I'm going to pretend that I'm tallying up their data as I work with them. So maybe Andre goes first. I'm going to type in some 8s. He's doing really well with those that P sound and CVC words, and we're kind of going back and forth between words that end with the P and start with the P. And so I'm going back and forth between both of these cells. If you accidentally click on a cell and type over the data that you have, whoops, you can hit Command Z to undo. Make sure that you double click the cell to add in more tallies to what you already have. All right, and then maybe he's also doing a great job producing multi-word utterances. He's had a whole bunch of them that he's saying as we play. And Lily, same for her. She's doing really well with her initial G sound in imitated phrases. All right, and so you can see here that their accuracy automatically populates as a fraction, as a percent, and as accuracy both without cues and with cues, signified by those 8s, 9s, and 0s. So an 8 is a tally that means they got the trial correct without cues. 9 is a tally that means they got the trial correct with cues, and 0 means that they did not get that trial correct. Another thing you'll notice as we're logging data is that over here, M's and A's have appeared. Both Andre and Lily are students I need to log attendance for since they are itinerant preschoolers. And Lily is also a student who I bill Medicaid for, so she has a little M that's appeared over here. Additionally, both of those have appeared up here in my to-do log. So I see LP for August 10th, indicating that I need to log Medicaid for Lily on August 10th, and attendance for Andre and Lily both on August 10th. And once I go through my district's process to do that, I can check it off right here. So maybe I go and I log their attendance first, or maybe I wait till the end of the day and I wouldn't check these off until it's the end of the day and I've already seen all my students. You can do that too. You can see now that I've done attendance, it says, congratulations, you're all caught up on attendance, but the to-do log is still red because I still have a Medicaid log that I need to complete for Lily. I'll go ahead and pretend I've done that. And then you can see that it's changed to congratulations, you're all caught up on Medicaid, and congratulations, you're all caught up on attendance. So next up is Miss Isabella, and we're doing some GEI for her. So maybe we see her from 9:05 to 9:20, and we're working on producing imitated 2-word utterances in both Spanish and English. And maybe she does just 3 of those during that 15-minute session, and then several more that are cued. I'll know that, and I can even type over here imitated 3 greetings in English, increase to 6 greetings with visual cues added, maybe something like that. And you'll see that for her, I didn't have to log Medicaid or attendance because we were just doing general education services, and she might not necessarily be eligible for either of those things. But because I was providing general education minutes, my GEI minutes accumulated, the total up here changed to 15. So I now know that I've done 15 of my 10,800 minutes that I can do per year. So now we're gonna move on to my kindergarten group, Kyrie and Keisha, and maybe I go to pull them and Kyrie is absent. I'll make a note of that. Maybe he's homesick today. I like to leave what I was gonna work on with him still in the target box so that I can reference that for the next time I'm able to pull him. And then maybe, man, we're 0 for 2. Keisha is at school, but maybe she's not available because she's in the nurse's office today. So I wouldn't log time for either of them because neither of them was available. I'll just update my notes so that I can remember why I didn't see them that date. And then you'll go through and complete this for the rest of your students. Some other things to note for Isabella, we're having her evaluation meeting today, so I would log evaluation meeting here, and that took place from 1 to 2. And I can, make any notes that I want to here. Maybe parents consented to evaluation results and proposed IEP, PWN signed at meeting, whatever you want to say there that will be helpful for you to reference. And then I would continue going through my day and logging more information for my students. So we'll pretend that we've gone through and entered in our data as we've gone throughout our day for each of these students. Then what you'll do when you're ready to condense all of this information again is once again, click the lowest row in your daily data set, hit Shift, and click the highest row in your data set, and then right-click that highlighted section, and view more row actions, group rows, and now all of those will be grouped under Thursday, August 10th, and you'll be ready to do it all again tomorrow. I'm going to copy Thursday, August 10th, and paste, and then double-click the bar and select Friday so that we can start it all over again for Friday, August 11th. One last feature that's helpful to note, if there's a special attendance marker or service that you want to log for all of the students on your caseload at once without entering in each name individually, like a holiday, conference day, or SLP absence, you can do that by selecting all students from the drop-down list and then entering the date and whatever service applies, so maybe it's an SLP absence, and then any notes that you find applicable, so maybe SLP out of town for a wedding. And that will now appear on all of your student service calendars and individual data sheets. And just like we did for Wednesday and Thursday, I'm still gonna go through and group that under Friday so that I can hide that and have all of my data grouped together. All right, and that's it for the daily tab. There is a lot of utility built into this sheet, so please, any questions about the daily page or ideas for information that would be helpful to include, email me or check out my shop using the links below. And always remember, the undo button is your friend. If you accidentally edit something beyond repair, you can always hit undo, or you can select your preferred version of the document from the document history log by going to File, Version History, See Version History, and then selecting the previous version of the document. You can even do this if you realize that you made an editing mistake maybe several sessions ago or several days ago. And then the other thing that you can do is simply download a new version of the document from the end user license agreement PDF that you downloaded when you purchased this product from my shop. All right, and that's it for the daily data tab. Thank you.